wonder what your dog is thinking?
Seriously, all the time, 24/7.
Do you think they share the same emotions as us?
What's going on in their minds?
Though the mind of a dog is not as complex as a human's, the chemical processes that conjure up these emotions are generally the same. Dogs have all the same brain structures that humans do, meaning they also express the same emotions as us. They feel sadness, joy, excitement, loneliness, and anger just like we do. Dogs, just like humans, express different emotions based on an outside stimuli. The way that outside stimuli is understood by the brain is through the sensory system. Sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste are all part of the sensory system used to detect and understand one's environment. The sensory system is powered by receptors, which are neurons that receive sensory information and send it to a specific area of the brain. Chemoreceptors detect smell and taste and then send this information to the olfactory bulb and then the somatosensory cortex in the parietal lobe. Though dogs' brains are 1/10 of the size of humans, their olfactory bulbs, where scent is assimilated, are 4 times larger than ours, which is why they have such an acute sense of smell. Mechanoreceptors detect sound and touch and initiate balance and stretching. They send this information to the auditory cortex in the temporal lobe. Electromagnetic receptors detect visible light and then send this information to the visual cortex in the occipital lobe. Thermoreceptors detect hot and cold temperatures and send this information to the somatosensory cortex in the parietal lobe. Pain receptors detect pressure, chemicals, and severe heat. They send this information to the somatosensory cortex in the parietal lobe. A dog's most important sense is their sense of smell. Chemoreceptors are the sensory receptors that detect smell and taste. Dogs can have up to 1.5 billion chemoreceptors in each nasal passage, each one coated in mucus. All odor-producing materials release vapors, and these gaseous molecules dissolve in the mucus and interact with the receptors. Once the odor molecules interact with the chemoreceptors send information on the smell to the olfactory bulb and then to the somatosensory cortex, which causes a reaction through the dog's behavior, whether it be joy, anger, or curiosity. So if I'm taking a walk with Chloe and she sees something like another dog or rabbit, the receptors in her nose and eyes would send information to her brain, causing her to be scared, angry, or curious. But how do these receptors deliver this information to the brain? A neuron is a nerve cell that delivers information to and throughout the brain. When a neuron receives signals from sensory organs, it shares the information with other neurons in the specified area of the brain through a process called neurotransmission. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that deliver information from neuron to neuron. They are transported down the axon of the neuron cell to the axon terminal, where they are then stored in packages called synaptic vesicles. When the synaptic vesicle fuses with the presynaptic membrane, it causes the neurotransmitter to spill into the synaptic cleft. The information is shared when the neurotransmitters bind to the receptor proteins in the postsynaptic membrane of the receiving neuron. All in all, the mind of a dog is pretty similar to the mind of a human.
So that must be why dogs and humans can make such good bonds with each other.
So next time you see that your dog is excited or sad or angry, you'll know that it's all because of chemistry!
I'm ready to go! Deliver this information!